Okay, we will go ahead and get started. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. You probably already know my name is Amy Tanzillo, and I'm an IBCLC here outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. I got certified in 2011. So for a very, very long time. And then last year, spent most of the year getting certified as a coach, helping mamas with service-based businesses scale theirs. And I absolutely love it. I love taking everything that I learned and showing other providers how they can have this life of freedom while still making money as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation. Please chime in if you have any questions. I'm just looking here at Kitty. Yeah, that's a biggie. When I got certified to be a coach, that was going to be a part of my offering. And then I went down this business coaching route. But it is no joke shifting to a mom and maybe not feeling as like free or as cute as you did. I know that happened with me. And that's huge to have that type of support. So I'm glad that you're doing that. Okay, what you guys have been waiting for, how to create an irresistible offer and what I mean by that. Again, my name is Amy. I'm a certified six-figure business coach. I have 3 kiddos. They're all teenagers by now. I went to the University of Alabama. I got my MBA in international business from Monterey, California. And I've now lived in Washington, D.C. for 25 years. It's crazy how long I've been here. This place kind of sucks you in. Even though I've been here forever, I'm still a very proud Jersey girl, homegrown New Jersey girl that I go back often, especially in the summertime. We still have a little bungalow at the Jersey Shore. I don't know if you guys ever saw that show, The Jersey Shore, but that's right in the area where our little vacation home is. So, okay, so what we're going to cover today is how to create an offer they can't resist. This is really what changed the trajectory of my business. It's an offer that you are providing for your clients that just doesn't offer like just a one session fix like many of us providers in these spaces do, but actually offers something that is of very high value. And I'm going to give you my 3-step system of how you can sell your offer as well. We'll recap again. I started Thrive Breastfeeding in 2011. I did it as a side hustle. Like many of you, I launched this business when my kids were very young. I was doing consultations when they were at preschool or early on a Saturday morning and kind of fitting it in the nooks of crannies of being a mother. So it was very much a side hustle for a very long time. And then in 2021, during the pandemic, I said, the heck with it. I'm going to go all in on this business and make it an honest to God revenue producing machine. And I quit my main job and went all in on Thrive Breastfeeding. And here we are. Make sure nobody's trying to get in. Okay. So what happened when I did that is in year 2, I hit 6 figures, and year 4, which was last year, I hit multi-6 figures. And these are the mistakes that I was making regardless of the, what I would call like financial wins. I really didn't know how to get to where I wanted to go. I really didn't know where I wanted to go. And the very first thing that we would attack if we were working together in a coaching is, how much money do you guys want to make on a monthly basis? What is your revenue goal? And then we look at how many hours that you have to work with kids or other obligations you have. Or I just worked with a sleep consultant. It was a side hustle for her. So how many hours do you have to devote to that? And then back out of that with how much time and how many packages then you would need to sell. So I didn't have any of that direction. I just had my head down, and I didn't even know what it meant to have an irresistible offer. I did things just like every other provider in our industry did. I just saw moms, I helped them with breastfeeding, and then I would go on to the next mom. But then I fixed things. And what happened was, I actually was having consistent 10K months, even with that old business model. But what happened was, is there was such a shift in how many clients that I was seeing. I could see much fewer clients and make more money. And I was booked out, which again, in the traditional for lactation consultants, and I'm sure with sleep as well, you're usually getting phone calls and people are reaching out to you when they are at dire straits, right? When they're in the thick of it, when they need rescued now. Where I made the big shift when I got the idea of the irresistible offer and got that all hammered out, that now I'm booking out. I have mamas that have me lined up that are due this month in November and December and into 2026. And that really made the big impact, not only for revenue predictability, but I know what I'm going to be working, right? So it gave me more freedom as well. And how I get there is I use the same systems over and over again. Here's me hitting my first multi-six-figure year, and it allows me to carry myself and my three kids. And what's the most important thing for me is that this affords me to have the availability to show up for my kids. Because I can tell you, when I was hitting 10K months before with my old business model, I was slammed. Back to back to back to back consults, and sometimes not even able to like make their events, or sorry guys, I'm working. Where now I really have built my business around my life instead of the other way around. So one of the things that I like to do from the very start is define why you want this freedom, what this offer is going to bring you. Is it, and by all means, comment in the chat below, but is it more travel? Is it really just like to financially contribute to your household? Do you like designer goods? I have a IBCLC now. It's like, I like nice things. I want to do this because I want to buy nice things. And that's great. I think it's really important to be kind of centered on what you want to do. And then a lot of us, it's to have more time with our kids. And I will tell you that mine is for freedom. I will freedom to travel. I will romanticize, being able to take these vacations and to go overseas to have these experiences. But I think I like to say that more than that's actually the case. What my biggest thing is when my kids need me, I like to show up. I like to go over to their school. I like to be at all their sporting events, and just be available for them. And Kitty said, yeah, to be financially stable for Kayla, to, there's bills that come up, sometimes unexpected, to financially contribute to the household. Ice hockey is expensive. My goodness, I've been there. That travel soccer was brutal. And when I tell you guys, with real, true, genuine understanding, I get it. I mean, I have these three kids and it's just me. I'm a single parent, and it's not oh my gosh, like here's my story, oh woe's with me, but it's to tell you that I really do understand the importance of making money. I pay our mortgage, I pay all those sports, I pay the girl with Sephora now, and now they're doing beach week for a senior trip and all those things. I pay for all of it. So I say that if your business is to give back, and you may have seen some of this messaging on my Instagram, but if it's to give back to your community, if it's really a act of service, I think that is really beautiful, but I'm not the business coach for you. I'm very, very revenue driven. And of course, the number one priority is to serve our clients. None of us would be in these niches if it wasn't serving our clients with our entire heart. But that all is geared towards also providing a life and a quality of life for our family too. So that's great. Okay, so how do you create this offer that they can't resist? It has so much to do with the right message, with the right audience to be able to do that. So what is an actual irresistible offer? The number one thing, guys, is your offer needs to be of high value. The high volume business model that I used to have before, I could come and fix your breastfeeding problems. Painful latch? I got you. Low supply? Okay. You need me to walk you through a pumping plan going back to work? Okay. But that wasn't necessarily high value, because I had to see a very high volume of families to hit that goal. But now my offer clearly demonstrates the solution to their problem, right? And it includes bonuses that are part of the package that they may not even expect. There's also a limited amount of my availability, and there's scarcity there as well. I had a mom yesterday book my top package, and she's due December 26th. And this isn't a marketing ploy. This isn't like a gimmick. I needed to know, are you going to book or not? Because I want to take my kids on a little getaway after Christmas. So if she does go ahead and pay my top tier package, I will make my plans around that due date. But if she's not, I'm going to go. So that's an idea of like being limited or scarce, right? And that helps drive these offers home as well. So here's a couple examples of how my packages and if you were to work with me, I recommend, encourage you, if it feels right in your heart, to copy what I do. My clients that I'm working with now are seeing huge success when they basically model my business model. So what does it mean to have like bonuses? So Courtney there in the white was my client, and she booked my top tier package and had a ton of postpartum anxiety. I mean, almost crippling. She definitely could have used Kitty with some support there. And her husband was a coach for our local basketball team, and he was traveling. And their breastfeeding chair did not come in. And the thought of her getting on the Beltway, which if you guys are local to here, it's a huge, busy 6-lane highway that could stress a lot of people out. She couldn't even imagine going on that Beltway to get her chair. So I picked it up. I happened to have a client up that way, and I knew where Bye Bye Baby was. And I said, hey, can I just grab it for you and bring it to your house? And they were absolutely blown away. The mama in the middle, that baby was 4 pounds. And I've been doing this for 15 years. I've supported thousands of family. That baby even made me nervous handling it and putting it on the scale. It was so small. The parents were so young, had no support. I don't know how it was released from the hospital, but they kind of had a lower end health insurance. But anyway, I was helping them because the baby came a month early and they were in the middle of moving. Their townhouse main floor was stacked from floor to ceiling. And I was helping them, and it was like very chaotic in there and kind of like a panic attack if clutter gets to you. And I said, guys, I don't know how you would feel about me touching your things, but what if I like opened a can on this place? And they were blown away. And I found a time and I went back and I completely unpacked their the first level. And like when you get going, it didn't take me a ton of time, but I was able to work with the dad. The mom was there holding the baby and kind of going through some stacks, but we unpacked the books and the kitchenware and got the whole place neat. I vacuumed so you could see the lines in the carpet. I put the recycling in my car to get out of there. I put the donations in their car for them to be able to take it. And this wasn't anything that I was expecting to do, right? This wasn't anything that was part of my top tier package, but these are the types of things that you can do when you're not working with a million clients. You have high value, higher end package, and just frankly more resources to designate to these fewer families. The mama on this side here, she delivered obviously during the pandemic and lives here in Northern Virginia, but her OB that she grew up with and was so attached to was in Maryland. So she delivered in Maryland and was making this like 40-minute drive thinking like, okay, I deliver and then I'll be back. Well, the baby ended up in the NICU and she had to go over every single day and you could only go in with one person. So she was driving over to Maryland by herself, like really in the process of healing, like not a comfortable drive for her. And then she was there alone without the dad because they'd only let one person into the hospital. And she could have used Kitty too. She was unraveling as well. And my neighbor posted in our news group that there was a Moby wrap. And I said, I'll take it. And I ran over and I helped mom put it on. Her actual baby was sleeping. So we put the dog in it. And oh my gosh, like it was the laugh that she needed. We laughed so hard with her walking around with the Moby wrap with the dog in it. So, I mean, 3 very kind of like easy things for me to do, but that's what I mean when I say high value, right? Last example, I was at a mom's house where her hospital grade pump was near the front door. And I was like, oh, is that going back to Sibley Hospital? And she said, yes. And I said, it's on my way home. I'll drop it off. And yeah, was it a little bit of an effort of going through the parking garage in the hospital? And I had to go up to the lactation department and I wanted paperwork to show that I actually handed in her pump. And then the guy who let me just put my hazards on where he let me run in. He was like the valet guy. I wanted to give him a tip. I didn't have any cash. So he had to download Cash App on my phone. I didn't even know how to do that. So I could give him $10 for letting me, run up there real quick without parking my car. So yeah, did it take some effort? Absolutely. But here this mom has me as their lactation consultant, and I take her Medela Symphony and I take it back to the hospital for her. And those type of things, again, are huge. And what most other lactation consultants or providers in your space are doing. And it's not because they may not be as like thoughtful or generous, but it doesn't even occur to you to do these types of things when you're charging 200 or $300 for a visit. Okay. And then the next thing you need is the right message. Your message needs to sell the destination rather than the airplane, meaning I help moms have a calm and confident breastfeeding journey rather than I come to your house and help you with your latch, right? I tell them the results that they desire. You will feel confident breastfeeding your baby. We will do everything in our power to reach your breastfeeding goals. It's seductive, but it's honest, right? Another thing, and this is a huge part of my coaching program, is messaging. I invested in a container this spring. It was $6,000, and it was worth every single penny because we talked so much about messaging, and I learned messaging. And before that container, because this coaching is on the newer side, right? I would say I could help you get 10K months. I do it every month. I haven't had less than 10K months in, I think now it's like 2.5 years. It's kind of diluted, right? It's kind of generic. And after going through this program, I learned now that I help moms with service-based businesses scale to 10K months while still having time to show up for your kids. That's a completely different message, right? Than me just being able to help you reach 10K months. And guess what? I've had a guy client before. I've had a non-mom client. She was actually like a 7-figure business owner that needed a lot of help with mindset and a lot of things where she had blocks that really weren't necessarily all having to do with running her business. And I happily worked with her, but that's not who my message is talking to, right? And that's really, really important for you guys to narrow down, not especially, because everybody needs to, but I find with sleep consultants, I've coached now 5 sleep consultants, and everybody says responsive. Everybody says you don't have to cry it out, but you really, really, really need to get in the nitty gritty of your message so it speaks to me, so I'm not scrolling by. Because some of our markets are just kind of saturated, right? I know business coaches are. There's a dime a dozen, so that's why my messaging is so pointed. And then the right people. So you would need to get your irresistible offer in front of the right people. So who is my right person for, say, my lactation side of my business? And we'll go deep on this too, is really narrowing down on not only your avatar or ideal client, you see that all the time, but really, really, really understanding who will buy for you. And guess what? It's not always the people with a lot of money. That 4-pound baby, they were like, and my parents were school teachers. I say this with all the respect in the world, but they were school teachers. They didn't have a ton of discretionary income. This townhouse was kind of far out and very, very modest, but they valued breastfeeding that much. So you need to speak with the right people, the people who actually value what you're selling. My avatar for my particular business is a mother and a father are in the home, or at least two partners are in the house. It's not me, the single mom. It's double income. Most of my clients, in terms of like an avatar, have a Peloton bike, right? Which means they value health as well. They also value what everybody else is doing in their little cohort. I mean, I see the same book on every single coffee table because it's also a client who kind of wants to keep up with everybody else is doing. So you need to also get in front of the right people in your market. But you must do it the right way to work. So here's the 3-step framework. Number 1, you need to nurture your prospective clients. It's Instagram, right? It's social media for us who have local businesses like lactation consultants, or if you have an in-person service in your area, it's nurturing that particular client and speaking to them directly. It's also engaging them. So this is engaging, you guys. Are you doing webinars? Have you done a webinar? Have you done a 3-day challenge? Do you have a welcome sequence in your email where, you're warming your clients up along the way? So by the time they get on a discovery call or want to book with you, they're sold. And it happens all the time. The Christmas baby yesterday, I didn't even have to tell her my spiel. I didn't have to tell her about all the support she gets from me and da 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 da. She's like, okay, yeah, I want it. Your website explains everything beautifully. I see your posts on social media. I get your emails. Just sign me up. And that's the type of engagement that it requires. And then finally, it's falling in love with selling. And this is probably one of the biggest pushbacks I get from prospects or coachees in my programs, that they don't like to sell. They don't like to ask anybody for business. Anybody feel the same? Anybody have an adjective for selling? Yeah. You think you may suck at it? How many think it may be sleazy or pushy or yucky? And Kitty, for the marketing, it has so much to do with your messaging and your copy and the way that you're talking about your offer. Yeah. Too bougie, of like, oh, this is only for the people who, have fancy designer bags or have a really extravagant lifestyle. Yeah. Yes, and the way that you're selling yourself. Well, here's my thing on changing your mindset about selling. And we have a whole bonus training on this inside my program, but it's really reframing how you think about it. So here's my thought on it. If you are a mama coach or a motherhood coach or a sleep consultant or a lactation consultant or a nutritionist, that's a very pointed gift that you've been given, right? And if you're a person of faith, it's God. If you're not spiritual, it's the universe. But I believe that if we're actually going down the road to get into this space, we have this gift. And the way that I look at selling is that because I have this gift, because I would have never started this company if I didn't want to help other moms, I have been tapped on the shoulder to spread that gift. So if I don't want to sell, thinking it's like, oh God, I really don't want to reach out to that niche neighbor and ask them to post my free webinar coming up, or I don't really want to follow up with that mom, maybe I'm bugging her, or I may feel like if I put that out there, she may think that my prices are too expensive. You are then creating an opportunity that there's a mom on the other side of town that got home from the hospital. And this is in my case, right? Got home from the hospital. The pediatrician said the baby's lost more than 10%. She's completely unraveling and crying and overwhelmed and thinks that she's a failure, but she doesn't know I exist, where I could swoop in and be there to support her. So that's not right, right? That I'm not sharing my gift and making sure it has visibility and making sure that everybody and people know that I'm available. Same for your sleep consultants. I mean, I'm sure that couples are on the brink of divorce over lack of sleep. I'm sure of it, right? You could be out there saving marriages, which would be really pretty cool. Or, Kitty's clients where they just feel so overwhelmed and a therapist, which I have one of those as well. It's once a week, where I'm sure your offering has wraparound care where I can access you in between sessions and you have resources on hand, which is a whole different level, right? So what about Courtney? And thank God she had me. I went up and picked up the chair, and I certainly do a lot of the mental health component as well for how long I've been doing this, and got some PHP certification as well. But what if she didn't have me? She'd probably never pick up her chair. The husband's traveling with the Wizards. She's sitting there. And probably had a much darker postpartum time. So it's really reframing how you think about selling your service. So here's my question for you leading up to it. I'm sure you knew it was coming. What if you could have that one irresistible offer? What if you could have this signature offer that you offer your prospective clients where they say, hell yes, or like the mom yesterday with the Christmas baby that's like, I'm sold, just tell me. And I'll tell you, I'm going back to like, it's not necessarily people that are bougie with a lot of money. After I sent her the agreement, she had to call and get a credit, which she didn't mind doing, but she kept her credit very, very low, which means that's not a person who has like a ton of money lying around, right? But she wants a successful breastfeeding journey. So what if you could have an offer and the messaging and the marketing plan that makes your clients feel that way as well? So if you're interested, I run a 90-day revenue accelerator program. It's a 3-month coaching program where we would work one-on-one with your business and go over everything that you're doing, and a huge part of it being the offer, right? And how you're selling that, as well as a hybrid where you're also in a group of other entrepreneurs. Right now in the group, I'm old school. I'm looking at my dry erase board. There's like 20 moms in there. And talking about a coach who knows how to sign up people, forget even the breastfeeding part of it for a second, but I've had 30 coaches so far from just launching this year. I think it's like 13 IBCLCs, 5 sleep consultants, a wedding coach, a woman who goes into older people's places to cook for them and do wellness and yoga so they don't have to get transitioned to a facility if they don't want to. Very interesting niche. Perinatal therapist, 2 registered dietitians. So again, like I'm having the offer that works that I could show you exactly how to do it as well. So I'd love to work with you. I did want to share some numbers with you. When you see those commercials like results aren't typical, I'm not saying that everybody who joins my program, depending on where you are in your business journey, is going to have these results. I'm not like guaranteeing this or saying this could be you, but I did ask my coachee who I've been working with to please share her numbers with me of what she's done since she's been working with me. And this is someone who did exactly what I recommended to do. A huge fear and anxiety around it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't like it was just easy breezy, but we did the coaching together and I asked her to write down numbers. It's so funny. She did it down to the cents. In March, her highest month ever was $9,464.87. That's in March 2025. That was her highest month ever. In June, I'm probably going to get a little emotional because she has young children and finances were very stressful between her and her husband. And June, she did over 20K. July, almost 23K. August, she did $14,994, and she has on here on vacation. And last month, she did $27,000, and she's one lactation consultant. So it just goes to show you what could happen inside the program. And I have had $20,000 months as a lactation consultant all by myself, but it sure as hell did not happen that quickly. Not the next month after hiring a coach. So I'm so happy for her. I'm also a little jealous of her, but she's absolutely crushing it. And that's obviously like that's a pretty fantastic ROI there. But I also had an IBCLC occupational therapist that came to me, and her messaging was all mixed up because she was trying to serve like everybody with those 2 credentials. And I do think if you have the 2, you have a superpower. Like Kayla, the nutrition and the IBCLC, they do get a 2-for-1, and we should capitalize on that in your irresistible offer. But that mama never had higher than a 5K month, and we worked together, and bam, she had her first 5K month or 5K plus month. I have a sleep consultant that never broke 10K, and she does it as a side hustle. So she was like hovering around 8, maybe 9K a month while she still has a full-time job. Kind of blows my mind. We work together. She just had a 12K month, and she's just scaling now, which is unbelievable. So I'm seeing real results in there. I absolutely love it. I do want other moms with our types of businesses to have success. So I would certainly love to help you. After our webinar, I can go ahead and send you a link if you want to set up a discovery call to talk more.